Think and Grow Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill. Chapter 1, Secret of Success Part A. The Man Who Thought His Way into Partnership with Thomas A. Edison. The Man Who Thought His Way into Organization with Thomas A. Edison. Genuinely, considerations are things, and incredible things at that, when they are blended in with definiteness of direction, constancy, and a consuming want for their interpretation into wealth, or other material items. Somewhat more than 30 years back, Edwin C. Barnes found how genuine it is that men truly think and develop rich. His disclosure did not come to fruition at one sitting. It came gradually, starting with a deep longing to turn into a business partner of the incomparable Edison. One of the main attributes of Barnes' craving was that it was distinct. He needed to work with Edison, not for him. Watch, cautiously, the portrayal of how he approached interpreting his craving into the real world, and you will have a superior comprehension of the 13 standards which lead to wealth. At the point when this longing, or drive of thought, first flashed into his psyche, he was in no situation to follow up on it. Two troubles hindered him. He didn't know Mr. Edison, and he needed more cash to pay his railroad admission to Orange, New Jersey. These troubles were adequate to have disheartened most men from making any endeavor to do the longing. In any case, this was no normal wish. He was so resolved to figure out how to do what he wanted that he at long last chose to go by dazzle things, instead of being crushed. To the unenlightened, this implies he went to East Orange on a cargo train. He introduced himself at Mr. Edison's research center, and reported he had come to start a new business with the designer. In talking about the first meeting among Barnes and Edison, years after the fact, Mr. Edison stated, "He remained there before me, resembling a conventional vagrant, yet there was something in the demeanor of his face which passed on the impression that he was resolved to get what he had come after." I had learned, from long stretches of involvement in men, that when a man truly wants a thing so profoundly that he is eager to stake his whole future on a solitary turn of the will so as to get it, he makes certain to win. I gave him the opportunity he requested, on the grounds that I saw he had decided to hold on until he succeeded. Ensuing occasions demonstrated that no error was made. Exactly what youthful Barnes said to Mr. Edison on that event was far less significant than that which he suspected. Edison, himself, said as much. It couldn't have been the youngster's appearance which got him his start in the Edison office, for that was unquestionably against him. It was what he felt that tallied. On the off chance that the criticalness of this announcement could be passed on to each individual who understands it, there would be no requirement for the rest of this book. Barnes didn't get his organization with Edison on his first meeting. He got an opportunity to work in the Edison workplaces, at an extremely ostensible wage, accomplishing work that was irrelevant to Edison, however generally significant to Barnes, in light of the fact that it allowed him a chance to show his stock where his planned accomplice could see it. Months passed by. Evidently nothing happened to bring the pining for objective which Barnes had set up in his brain as his distinct major reason. In any case, something significant was going on in Barnes' psyche. He was continually heightening his craving to turn into the business partner of Edison. Therapists have effectively said that when one is really prepared for a thing, it places in its appearance. Barnes was prepared for a business relationship with Edison. In addition, he was resolved to remain prepared until he got what he was looking for. He didn't state to himself, "Ah well, what's the utilization? I surmise I'll change my psyche and go after a sales rep's activity." Be that as it may, he said, "I came here to start a new business with Edison, and I'll achieve this end on the off chance that it takes the rest of my life." He would not joke about this. What an alternate story men would need to tell if just they would receive a positive reason, and stand by that reason until it had the opportunity to turn into an all-expending fixation. Possibly youthful Barnes didn't have any acquaintance with it at that point, yet his bulldog assurance, his determination in remaining back of a solitary want, was bound to cut down all restriction, and present to him the opportunity he was looking for. Whenever the open door came, it showed up in an alternate structure, and from an unexpected heading in comparison to Barnes had anticipated. That is one of the stunts of chance. It has a tricky propensity for slipping in by the indirect access, and frequently it comes camouflaged as hardship, or brief route. Maybe this is the reason for such a large number of neglect to perceive opportunity. Mr. Edison had recently idealized another office gadget, known around then as the Edison directing machine, presently the Ediphone. His sales reps were not excited over the machine. They didn't trust it could be sold without extraordinary exertion. Barnes saw his chance. It had slithered in discreetly, covered up in an eccentric-looking machine which intrigued nobody yet Barnes and the creator. Barnes realized he could sell the Edison directing machine. He proposed this to Edison, and instantly got his opportunity. He sold the machine. In certainty, he sold it so effectively that Edison gave him an agreement to disseminate and showcase it everywhere throughout the country. Out of that business affiliation developed the trademark, made by Edison and introduced by Barnes. The business union has been in activity for over 30 years. Out of it Barnes has made himself wealthy in cash, yet he has done something unendingly more prominent. He has demonstrated that one truly may think also, develop rich. How much real money that unique want of Barnes has been worth to him, I have no chance to get to know. Maybe it has brought him $2 or $3 million, however the sum, whatever it is, becomes inconsequential when contrasted, and the more noteworthy resource he obtained as unmistakable information that an immaterial motivation of thought can be changed into its physical partner by the utilization of known standards.